Gentlemen, it's another Saturday of tear gas and rock throwing on the streets of Paris. This is the 5th consecutive weekend of those national protests by the so-called Yellow Vests. You know, the anger and opposition started out a few weeks ago over rising fuel taxes, but since then have morphed into demonstrations against President Emmanuel Macron and his policies of trying to reform long-standing economics policies. Senior Foreign Affairs correspondent Greg Palcott in Paris has more.
Another day of anti-government protest here in Paris and across France. There were clashes, but not as many as we saw last Saturday here. The so-called Yellow Vest activists were out on the Champs-Élysées, around the old Opera House here, the Louvre Museum, another landmark in Paris. At some locations, police did use tear gas and water cannons to disperse the crowds. There was some scuffling between the two sides. 7 are reported to have been injured. But there were 115 arrests today. Last week, there was 1,000. The number of protesters today, something like 4,000. Last week, it was 8,000. Police, though, we can tell you from personal observation, they were out in big numbers. We spent much of the day watching a game of cat and mouse across the city. Authorities trying to avoid a repeat of the violence we have witnessed. One reason for the drop in trouble, concessions made in a national television address earlier this week from President Macron. High taxes, low wages, and a government not seen to be listening to its people thought to be factors in this protest. Another reason, the deadly terror attack this past week in Strasbourg. Police finding and killing the man responsible for it on Thursday night. 2 more reasons why there was a decrease in the unrest today. Some cold, nasty, wet weather and the upcoming holiday season. But an expert has told us we can expect a very hot January here. In Paris, Greg Palcott, Fox News.
Well, the holiday season is in